My dad's driver is over 16 years old, and what he doesn't know is today I'm gonna replace that for him. In part one of this video, I had my dad hit some of the best drivers of 2025, and he narrowed it down to 3: the TaylorMade, the Titleist, and the Cobra. And a lot of you guys have been asking me, Brandon, why didn't you bring in the Tour Edge? Why didn't you bring in the Wilson? Why didn't you bring in the Kirkland? Well, guess what? Today I got all 3 of those, so he's also gonna hit those, and I'm gonna dial in one driver because I'm gonna give him the driver of his dreams, and he'll never have to buy a driver again. I also wanna give something away to you guys. In this video, I'm gonna give away a new 9 Golf merchandise pack, as well as a lifetime access to my online coaching platform, but there's a catch. The only way I'm giving my dad a driver and giving you guys this pack is if I can get my dad to say today's mystery word, and that mystery word is Pokemon. Let's go see my dad. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for wearing the same shirt.
Thank you. It's the only one I own.
Apparently. In the last video, we were testing some drivers.
Yeah.
We didn't get through all of them. There's 2 new drivers I'm gonna introduce. I was gonna introduce 3, but I broke the fitting screw of the Tour Edge, so unfortunately we don't have that driver for you. We're gonna start with Wilson. This is the Wilson Dynapwr. A lot of people were asking to test out the Wilson. It's a little bit more affordable than the other drivers we were looking at. I think it looks pretty clean, so we'll get you to try that. You just got back from the doctor. What's going on?
Yeah, I went to see a dermatologist. He sent me to a specialist. I have a little bump on my head that he was looking at. It's possible skin cancer, nothing serious, caught very early on. So they took a sample, so I have a couple of stitches in my head. So it's kind of tender.
It'd be a good excuse, worst case, if you're not hitting it great. That's a good takeaway, I think, from this morning. Just go see a doctor if you got anything going on. But we're here to hit some drivers. So let's start with that Wilson. And then today I'm gonna fine tune those 3 drivers that you liked. You like the Titleist, the TaylorMade, and the Cobra. We'll introduce these. If you like these, we'll tweak them. But this is gonna be the full fitting. I'm gonna change some shafts. I'm gonna play around with the settings to really find that optimal launch for the new driver.
Yep, very good.
That's it. Guys, we're doing this testing in Calgary, Alberta. We're at Modern Golf, and we have a TrackMan, a Pro V1 RCT ball. The elevation is set at 3,400 feet, and we're starting with the Wilson. Let's see how this bad boy goes. Sounded crispy.
Oh, my best one of the day.
I mean, you just started.
312.
Crisp.
Oh, oh.
That one was dead straight. You can't even see the line.
No.
So my goal for you today, fitting you for a driver, one of the big things I'm looking at is the spin. So my goal is to get you between 2,300 and 3,200 RPM. That would be ideal spin. I think obviously we want to get some distance and get some consistency, but the big thing that I'm looking at today is spin. How does this Wilson feel so far?
Yeah, feels good, sounds good.
That was a good one. So like 2,500 spin is like super optimal. If we do that every single time. The other stat that I'm looking at is your attack angle. So you normally hit down on the driver. I've been telling you in the audience, we want to hit up on the driver. It's the only club that we want to hit up on. On the irons, we're always hitting down, but to lower the spin, we want to increase the launch, and we can do that by just hitting up on the ball. It's nice, good thud. We're just not getting the height that we're looking for. So like the spin came down, but we're not getting the height that we want. Okay, that's gonna be our last hit with the Wilson. I don't want to tire you out today, but that was a pretty good collection.
Yep.
Let's go on to the Kirkland Special. You shop at Costco?
Never.
Do you know they sell like sporting cards at Costco?
They do?
Or some cards, I think. I've seen people
Pokemon.
Interesting.
It's interesting to me that there is a difference between those. Now, whether one is better than the other is up for debate. Yesterday, we did find a bit of a tighter grouping on certain ones.
Yeah. And they were all the standard neutral settings. We didn't change anything in loft. We didn't change shaft or the hosel setting. So this is the Kirkland. You can find this guy at Costco. There we go. Now we're back. We're back up in the air. You know, for a driver that you can buy at Costco, it actually sounds pretty good. I think if I was to just guess based on sound, I wouldn't be able to pinpoint that it's not a major golf manufacturer.
Yeah, my first clubs were from Canadian Tire because I don't think back then there was a golf town.
Yeah, probably not. I don't know.
No, this is 81.
That was nice. Do you remember when you would have got me into golf? Or do you remember like our furthest golf memory?
You must have been playing before we did the drive, chip, and putt. contest because you wouldn't have done that first out.
Right.
You had to have some background. But that was pretty fun. And I don't think they've come back every year to do that.
Not that I know of.
And that's really long ago.
It was cool because when we were at Augusta last year, we got to go to the drive, chip, and putt and see the best 10, 11, 12-year-olds in the world. And they blew my game out of the water. Oops. Talking in your backswing. Oh, that was a good one. Great hit.
Yeah.
Right down the line, 221. How does this Kirkland feel?
To me, feels like other ones. When you try 8 different, I'm not going to have 8 different descriptions of them.
I think sometimes some clubs feel hotter than others, or they sound louder, or they, some feel dead, I find.
I mean, visually, it looks similar to anything else you have over there.
Yeah, the biggest difference is that it's half the price.
Yeah, there you go.
I like these results. I like 2,800 spin, almost 180 carry, 213 total, and you're pretty close to the line there.
I think one of the most important things when you're driving the ball, for that 2 seconds, really concentrate.
You should write a book.
Well, sometimes when I'm playing golf, my mind wanders and I'll be up there and I'm thinking of something else. You're not really thinking about what you're doing.
It's fair. Got to stay focused.
Yeah.
Wow, you hit it so good when you focus.
Yeah.
You should take Adderall or something.
Yeah, your day-to-day world is so full of a billion thoughts, And all you got to do is sort of chop it just for, how many seconds is this?
I see a pretty confident swing with that old Kirkland. Let's put the pause on that. Let's go do a driver we've already hit.
Which one's this?
This is the Titleist. So since we've already hit it, we've got a decent collection. We know it's one of the 3 that you liked the best. So I'll get you to hit a couple, and then I might change a head setting and just try to get the most optimal performance out of it.
Felt low. Oh, did go up.
I mean, for a miss hit, that's pretty forgiving.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the nice thing about those driving ranges where the ball pops up. It's exactly the same spot. You can almost put white marks around your feet.
I think the setting that we have on this is awesome. This is a different shaft though. So I remember in the first time you're like, a lot of the shafts feel light.
Yeah.
And the majority of the shafts I gave you were a 50-gram regular shaft. This is actually 60 grams. So this was the heavier shaft that you're hoping for, that you're more used to in your current driver.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it feels good.
The fact that you're capable of hitting it 2,500 RPM, carrying 190, rolling out to 230, and it's on the line. I mean, that's a pretty high benchmark for some of these other drivers to have to surpass. We just spun up a line. So anytime you get those ones, like I'm looking at your carry in total, right? The last one you just hit 230, that one was 190. The reason for that is that attack angle. So that's you hitting down on the driver again.
Gotcha.
So if I go into here, that one was down 4.3 and the other one was almost 0. So see the difference? That's why you're getting that big gapping distance.
Yeah.
It's just that attack angle.
Right.
Solid, man. Better. And look at that, your distance came way back up again. Perfect spin.
So would you say that the heavier shaft has helped a little bit?
I think so.
Yeah, I really like the feel of this.
Yeah.
I'd have to pick up my other one and just compare it. But it feels good and solid. Doesn't have a lot of whip to it.
Yeah, this is a really good option for you so far. Hit 2 more. Like I've personally seen enough of this, the way it's set up, that this is the driver to beat, in my opinion, so far.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that take, Dad?
Just got to bring this plastic thing with me out in the course. You never see these on the course.
Let's do one more just so I have a fair collection of all of them. We're only hitting 7 today instead of 8.
I think a lot of it too is coming through the ball, all that other good stuff.
Solid, solid. Really good, man. Really good. Let's see if these other 2 can beat it. So his average was 2,600. The Kirkland was 2,600, and the Wilson was 2,900. Wilson was kind of over the map. But look at the dispersion. Look how tight that is, Dad.
Yeah.
Remember you had that one, so this really high one
Right.
was that one that you hit down on, it spun a mile. So that so far is the Titleist dispersion versus Kirkland. A little bit more all over the place. And Wilson wasn't our best.
No. Yeah,
I really
very
like
much.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hit the Cobra now. while I'm setting this up, do you remember the best day of golf you ever had?
You know, courses are fun to play when you don't get to play them often. And my buddy Roy and I, we went down to Palm Springs. We played PGA West. And there's a hole there. And I remember watching it on TV where Lee Trevino hit a hole in one. And there's a plaque there. And it's like, oh yeah, I remember that moment kind of thing. And I'm on the exact same course that he's playing. And Roy and I got our picture taken with the flag right there. It was a nice little memory.
Oh, cool. So something that I was interested in, because I was talking about we were playing around with your spin. So the shaft that I put in that Titleist was a lower spin shaft. I was nervous the first time we did a testing because a low spin shaft won't keep the ball in the air as long, typically, but that brought down your spin super optimally.
Do all drivers now have the removable head?
Yes. On the hosel settings, you can now open and close the face or adjust the loft. If this is a 10-degree head, you can go as high as 12 or as low as 8 if you want to hit it higher or lower. What is super unique about this new Cobra that came out, they have a system called Future Fit 33. So normally there's 8 options, 10 options, 12 options. This Cobra has 33 different hosel settings. So let's say your consistent miss is low right, hypothetically.
Yeah.
I can look at the fit chart and I do the opposite, that I actually want you to go high left. What it doesn't do is it doesn't manipulate the face open or closing.
I do remember one of my earlier drivers did come with a kit of screws and wrenches and things, but I didn't know what in the world to do with them, so they just went over in a box
That's
somewhere.
fair. That's probably you and most people, unless you are a tinkerer playing around on the range. But it's best to just go for a fitting, have the guy who knows what they're talking about set it once, and then just forget it.
Yeah. I don't think Canadian Tire had a fitter.
That was a good start.
So is this identical to what it was yesterday?
I did change the settings. So what I did do is I gave you a heavier shaft because I know you like the heavier shaft. So this is a 60-gram regular flex shaft. I moved the hosel setting from neutral because you were hitting them low right. I put it on a higher setting.
So even though they say 10 on here or whatever they may say, you can adjust that?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nice. I asked you about the best day you ever had on the course. Do you remember the worst day you had on the golf course?
Yes. Wolf Creek.
Okay, yeah.
So there's like 4 of us in the car all going up to play. You look forward to this for weeks on end kind of thing. Oh, great. We're going to play someplace new. Cloud, rain, pouring. We still played. But, I remember, you got your hat on as you're putting. All the water from your bill of the cap is falling on the ball.
Yeah.
I don't like the playing in the rain. A little rain is okay. Heavy winds, I don't care for.
Yeah, that's fair.
You always see the videos on your phone of, it's a downpour at Pebble Beach. How much did that cost for that special day to play that god-awful day?
That's my worst nightmare.
Yeah. You get one crack at it. It's like your wedding day.
I mean, I think there's people out there that have had multiple wedding days. It's really good. That is so good. Like when you catch this thing, it goes a mile.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised. Cobra drivers have always gone some of the furthest. The world long drive champ, Kyle Berkshire, he plays Cobra. I've been fortunate enough to see him swing. And if you see him swing at full swing, your back hurts just watching him.
Oh, yeah,
This guy's so strong and so tall, and he just rips the club.
Yeah. You watch Charles Barkley play. Very tall, but, and he's had lessons. Private lessons.
Ooh, picking up some speed. You're swinging fast with that thing. Ho-ho! Okay, gun to your head. The Titleist that we just hit or this Cobra, what do you think?
Yeah, they're both very, very similar. I like the name Cobra.
What's it remind you of?
Spitting cobras, snakes.
Not Karate Kid.
No.
Solid, dude. Kind of just got away from you there. Still pretty forgiving.
Yeah, but we're walking down the fairway.
Yeah, I need just one more. Didn't you have a kidney stone on the golf course once?
Yes. Boy, does that come up out of nowhere. We just finished a hole, we just teed off, I'm walking down the hill, all of a sudden you just feel sick to your stomach. Like I'm ready to throw up, that kind of pain. And then it's like, I got to the sand trap area and I just collapsed.
It's funny that that didn't come to your mind as the worst day of the golf course. Instead of little rain, you're like, fuck, I hate the rain.
Yeah.
Kidney stone, oh, whatever. But if it rains, man.
Yeah, I couldn't finish that course.
You're crushing the ball. Great session, man. Really good.
Good.
Proud of you.
My head hurts. So
That's fair.
let's sit down and just think about that
take some
for a
time.
bit.
What's the best so far?
Cobra actually had more consistent distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's the Titleist one?
This is Titleist.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's 20 yards, over 20 yards difference between your 3 best and your 4 best and your 3 worst.
Right.
Where the consistency with the Cobra, you delete this, they're all within 3 yards of each other.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, that one.
Last driver we're gonna hit is the TaylorMade. We fit you into TaylorMade irons last year, so you could end up with a matching driver. But we're gonna let the data speak for itself. I did change something in this TaylorMade. I gave you a different shaft. This shaft is called counterbalanced. So it's also 60 grams, so it's heavier than the first one that we hit. There's more weight in the handle. So I wanted to just get your feedback if you feel more weight in the handle, if it's messing up with your timing. This is just the only shaft that we're hitting that's counterbalanced. If you don't like it, I could pull it out.
Right.
But I was just curious on your feedback of it.
It does feel a little whippy at this end.
Driver heads now are so light, and I was trying to play around
Right.
with the weight just because I know that you didn't love the weight the last time. So we went heavier shaft, counterbalance. Counterbalance actually makes the club feel a little bit lighter. I know it sounds kind of counterintuitive, but I just wanted to get your feedback on you hitting it a couple times. TaylorMade sounds the most muted this year, I think. Do you find it's hard to feel the feedback of the club face?
Yeah. I think the other ones that I hit certainly feel better.
Okay, let's put a different shaft in.
I'm not hitting that solid at all.
Let me grab you a different shaft. We were not getting along with that counterbalance shaft. I took that out. I put a new 60 gram regular shaft. This is a Diamana whiteboard, no longer counterbalanced. So we're back to that same 60 gram that we've been getting along with. I mean, big change right out of the gate, just changing the shaft. In the fitting process, I actually went to the TaylorMade head office in Toronto. The first thing that we did with the master fitter at TaylorMade is you dial in the head. So that's why I had you hit all those heads the other day without changing anything. You start with the head and then you put in the shaft. The only job of the shaft is to deliver the club face to the ball. We've noticed now that we've knocked some spin down, so it's played around with some spin characteristics, but just for some fitting knowledge, you start with the head and then you play around with the shaft.
I'd be curious in the forgiveness of, 6 different things.
Yeah, all the drivers that we have, the majority of them are at that 10,000 MOI, which is that max forgiveness. MOI, that moment of inertia, is basically its resistance to twisting. So if you hit it on the toe and the heel, if you looked at a super slow-mo cam, the heel would open up or the toe would open up. And what all these drivers have in common is the majority of the weight is pulled back in the driver. The further back it is, the more forgiving it is, and the higher launching it goes. I think you're definitely hitting the center of the face more often with this shaft than you were with that counterbalance shaft.
Yeah. 226.
That's really good, man. I mean, not a bad miss hit. I can tell that was a little low on the face. It only carried 154, but it's on the line. Your smash factor was so efficient. I mean, for a miss hit, I think that shows off the forgiveness of these types of clubs. Are you coming around to this TaylorMade, or are you still leaning towards
Is this TaylorMade?
the other ones? Is this TaylorMade? Yeah, it's TaylorMade.
Yeah, it's this or the Cobra, I think.
That or the Cobra? Okay, we're down to 2.
The Kirkland one, you're saying?
I'll show you. I'll show you when we're done hitting. A couple more hits.
Yeah, it was something.
Solid, man. That's the center of the club face. Little baby cut, little peeler. Okay, take a break, take a breath, take a breather. That was tight, man.
Can't do too much more, Brent. I don't want to overdo my head.
Okay. I was just gonna adjust the Cobra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the tough part about this. Everyone makes good drivers. We've narrowed it down to 3, and the 3, you could still take any one of those 3 on the golf course. The decision that you got to make now is, what do you like looking at?
Right.
What feels good? What sounds good? Now we get a little bit more into that personal preference. You told me it was between Cobra and TaylorMade. Do you still feel that way? This was the TaylorMade.
Or Titleist.
Oh, you still want to throw Titleist in there?
Well, I'm just saying.
Titleist was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to make a decision.
Yeah.
So I think we hit that Cobra once more, because this doesn't impress me.
No. To me, tighter down the fairway, 210.
Let's hit that Cobra once more, just with me changing the setting. So I've already changed it. It's good to hit. Okay, so I made a quick little tweak in the hosel because our misses were more on the right side. I've now just moved it to a left side setting. There's 33 to choose from, so I'm hoping that this is the one that just gets you closer to that center line. Okay, you're done. Hang him up. 1.5 smash factor. Just want to point that out. What's funny is I moved him left and he hit them more consistently right. Isn't that weird? Well, that's how I read it. So I had him on... But how crazy is that that works?
So it's not me.
No, that was bad fitter. Okay, 4 more hits and you're done.
So it's on the left now.
That hosel setting is really actually impressive.
I don't know what that's telling you.
Yeah, I think for whatever reason, we were just getting better results out of our first test.
Yeah.
And you've hit a lot of drives today. You've hit like almost 100 drivers. This was an incredibly close fitting, I think. Based from our first video to now this one, the front runners are still the TaylorMade, the Titleist, and the Cobra, okay? Here's all of them together. Let's start with the Titleist. You hit the Titleist great. What I'm seeing is a distance gapping. So from your shortest being 193 and your longest being 232 is like 40 yards. 40% of them were shorter than your longest.
Yeah.
If you could hit all of them like that, great session. What I liked in the TaylorMade is very consistent, I think, right? We had 5 right around the line.
Yeah.
And what I really like is the dispersion on the tracer chart.
Yeah.
Where the Titleist is still pretty tight. I think dispersion-wise, between the Titleist and the TaylorMade, they're like right bang on with each other.
Yeah.
So let's go back to dispersion. When we look at the first time we hit the Cobra, you had 6 out of the 7 were incredibly consistent. You only had 1 bad miss hit that is causing that huge variance gapping.
Right.
You saw when I took that out how tight all of these were.
Yeah.
Right? But when I look at the shot tracers for all of them, it doesn't look as tight as the TaylorMade or the Titleist.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
We got to make a decision. I don't think you could go wrong with any 3 of those. What are you looking at when it comes down to picking a driver?
Yeah, if I was going in the store, I'd be looking at, what's the price variance?
If price is not a factor,
then the tight grouping in a sample.
So tight grouping puts us down to, this was Titleist.
I think anything down the middle of the fairway, 215 yards, and so it means I'm playing the second shot.
That's TaylorMade.
That's TaylorMade.
That's Cobra.
Yeah, I would say.
That's Titleist.
Yeah, I would say no to the Cobra.
Okay, Cobra's
so
out.
TaylorMade or Titleist.
This is like when you're at the eye doctor and they're like, number 1 or number 2? And you're like, they look the exact same to me. That's just what I'm thinking of. Yeah. I don't think you could go wrong with either. This is your driver.
And this is only 8 shots out of 80 shots.
I mean, let's put them side by side beside each other.
What is this?
This is the
TaylorMade, and this is the
Titleist.
And they're both. This one looks taller. Is it taller?
1/4 inch longer.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say this one.
Titleist. Easy. So the driver that you chose is the Titleist GT2. Congratulations.
Woohoo.
What I told the audience that you don't know, much like your iron fitting for you doing for all of this, we're going to buy you a brand new driver.
Excellent. A Titleist driver. So I could throw the ping away.
You can if you
So
want.
it'll look just like this.
It'll look just like that.
Very nice.
That was a great shaft for you. I really like this shaft. After hitting the first couple, we put this shaft in. It's a lower spinning shaft. So it's a hazardous 60 gram, 5.5 flex.
Okay, beautiful.
The other thing with this Titleist that I don't have with me right now is there's different head weights. Because I know before you're like, man, they feel too light. I can play around, put a heavier weight in the back. We can still fine tune this if we want.
Right,
You don't have to go to the range. But yeah, you do so much for me, especially growing up. Now that you're a grandpa, you help out a lot with the grandkids. We appreciate everything you do. Thank you for donating your time to us. And glad they were able to, check out whatever's going on in your head, make sure you're doing okay.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple of stitches in my head isn't ideal for hitting golf balls.
So,
kind of thing.
Much like the first video, we had a secret word that you had to say in order for us to give you the driver,
Right.
and we're still giving away a new 9 merchandise pack.
Oh, yeah.
And lifetime access to our online coaching.
Right.
All the audience has to do is just comment. In the first 2 weeks, you guys can comment. I'll pick one comment from this video, one comment from the last video to give those away to you guys. Do you know what today's bonus word was?
My guess is it's Pikachu.
Pikachu.
No, I didn't say Pikachu. I said Pokemon.
Yeah, you're 2 for 2. And that was so funny. I kind of gave you a layup. I was thinking of how am I going to
Because I was just thinking those videos of people crashing into Costco trying to grab this friggin' game card. It's insane. Well, that's fantastic, Brent. Thanks very much.
You're welcome. Thank you again for being on this channel, helping us out. And thanks to you guys for watching. We really appreciate it. Thanks for being part of this video series. We'll check in with you guys next time. See you guys.